What if the reason she never truly valued you was not because you weren't good enough, but because she knew you would never walk away? Sometimes the moment a woman realizes she can lose you is the moment she finally understands your value, and that's the uncomfortable truth most men don't want to hear. You can give her attention, you can give her affection, you can text her every morning. You can be available whenever she needs you. You can forgive her again and again, and somehow the more you give, the less she appreciates it. Why? Because people often value what they believe they can easily replace. But there is a difference between breaking a woman's ego and destroying her. It's confidence. You should never humiliate her. You should never manipulate her. You should never intentionally hurt her. What you need to break is the expectation that you will accept anything just because you love her. That's where everything changes, because when she realizes that your love comes with standards, boundaries, and self-respect, she begins to see you differently. And sometimes, that's when attraction becomes real. Think about it. If she knows you will always be there no matter how she treats you, what reason does she have to fear losing you? If she knows you will chase her every time she becomes distant, why would she respect your distance? She knows that one emotional message is enough to bring you running back. Why would she take your absence seriously? This is where many men make their biggest mistake. They think love means proving yourself. They think if they work harder, text more, give more, sacrifice more, and tolerate more, she will eventually realize how valuable they are. But love doesn't work like a transaction. You cannot earn someone's respect by abandoning your own. And you cannot make someone value you by constantly making yourself available. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply stop participating in a situation that doesn't respect you. Not as punishment, not as revenge, not as a game, but because you finally understand your own worth. Imagine a woman who knows that you will tolerate everything. She cancels plans at the last minute you forgive her. She ignores your messages for days. You chase her. She speaks disrespectfully. You stay silent. She gives attention to other men just to make you jealous. You try even harder to win her back. Eventually, she learns something. There are no consequences to her behavior, and when there are no boundaries, disrespect becomes normal. Now imagine the opposite. She crosses a line. You don't yell. You don't insult her. You don't beg. You simply say, "I don't accept being treated that way. That's what you want. I respect your decision, but I won't stay in it." Then you walk away calmly, without drama, without threats, without 100 messages explaining yourself. That moment can be more powerful than anything you could have said, because suddenly she discovers something she didn't expect. You actually have that strength to leave, and that changes the dynamic completely. The first thing that happens is her ego gets challenged. She may have believed she had complete control over your emotions. She may have believed that if she pulled away, you would chase. She may have believed that if she became cold, you would become desperate. But when you remain calm, something inside her starts questioning the situation. Why isn't he chasing me? Why isn't he begging? Why isn't he trying to convince me? Did he finally stop caring? And sometimes those questions create something that constant attention never could. Reflection, she starts thinking about you. She starts remembering the things you did. She starts noticing the silence where your messages used to be. She starts realizing that your presence wasn't guaranteed, and that's when absence can become powerful. But understand this carefully. The goal is not to disappear so she becomes obsessed. The goal is to stop chasing someone who isn't choosing you. There is a huge difference. Manipulative man creates distance to control a woman. A self-respecting man creates distance because he refuses to lose himself. One is a game, the other is maturity, and women can often feel the difference. Another important thing happens when you stop over-explaining yourself. A man with low confidence constantly tries to prove his intentions. He says, "I didn't mean that. I promise I love you. Please don't leave. Tell me what I did wrong. Give me another chance." He keeps talking because he is terrified that silence means rejection. But a confident man understands that his actions speak louder than endless explanations. If someone misunderstands you, explain once. If they repeatedly disrespect you, don't spend your life defending your worth. Let your behavior communicate your standards. This is one of the hardest lessons for a man to learn. You don't have to convince someone to value you. You have to become the kind of man who doesn't remain where he isn't valued. And ironically, that's often when people begin to value you more, because confidence is attractive. Desperation eyes and single quotes. Independence is attractive. Emotional dependence isn't. Purpose is attractive. Having no life outside the relationship. I think when a woman sees that your entire world doesn't revolve around her, she doesn't necessarily feel less important in a healthy relationship. She may actually feel more secure. Because you're choosing her, not because you need her to survive. There's a massive difference between needing someone and choosing someone. Need says, "I can't live without you." Choice says, "I love having you in my life, but I will not destroy myself to keep you." That mindset changes everything now. Let's talk about another uncomfortable truth. Sometimes, What you call love is actually fear. You aren't afraid of losing her because she is perfect. You're afraid of losing her because you have attached your identity to her. You think if she leaves, you lose your value. You think another man winning her means you lost. You think her rejection proves you're not enough. It doesn't. Her decision is not a measurement of your worth, and once you understand that, you stop behaving like someone who is afraid. You stop chasing, you stop competing, you stop trying to prove. You're better than every other man. You simply become better than the version of yourself that was willing to accept disrespect. That is what truly breaks the ego, not hers, yours. The ego that says you need her approval. The ego that says you must always win her attention. The ego that says you have to control how she feels about you. Real strength begins. And you stop trying to control another person, you control yourself, your emotions, your reactions, your standards, your decisions, your discipline, your direction, and when you master those things, something changes in the way people experience you. You become less predictable, not because you're playing games, but because you are no longer controlled by emotions. If she gets angry, you don't immediately panic. If she becomes distant, you don't chase. If she criticizes you unfairly, you don't collapse if she walks away. You don't beg her to stay, you remain grounded, and that emotional stability is powerful. Now, here's where many men misunderstand the concept. They think breaking her ego means becoming cold, so they stop caring. They intentionally ignore her. They make her jealous. They flirt with other women. They post things online to get a reaction. They try to make her insecure. That isn't strength, that's insecurity wearing a mask. A truly confident man doesn't need to make a woman jealous. He doesn't need to punish her with silence. He doesn't need to manipulate her emotions. He simply has boundaries. If the relationship is healthy, he communicates. If there's a problem, he addresses it. If the same problem continues, he makes a decision. And if the relationship becomes unhealthy, he leaves. That's it. No revenge, no emotional warfare, no childish games. Because the strongest man in the room is rarely the loudest. He's the one who can remain calm when everyone else is reacting. And here's something else you need to understand. Sometimes she may come back after you walk away, but don't automatically assume that means she loves you. She may miss your attention, she may miss your presence, she may miss the emotional security you provided, she may simply miss having access to you. So don't judge her feelings by her return, judge them by her behavior. Does she communicate better? Does. She'll respect your boundaries? Does she take responsibility? Does she make an effort? Does she treat you differently? Does she show consistency? Real love is not proven by dramatic returns. It's proven by consistent behavior. A woman who genuinely values you doesn't just come back, she changes the way she treats you, and you should do the same, because this lesson isn't only about women, it's about you. Maybe you've spent too much time trying to be chosen. Maybe you've tolerated behavior that slowly destroyed your confidence. Maybe you've mistaken attention for affection. Maybe you've been chasing someone who only wanted you when you were leaving. If that's your situation, stop asking, how do I make her love me? Start asking, why am I accepting so little? That question can change your life. Because when you raise your standards, you don't automatically become arrogant, you become selective. You understand that love without respect is unstable. Attraction without trust is fragile. Attention without commitment is meaningless, and chemistry without compatibility can become chaos. So stop trying to break someone else's ego. Build yourself, get stronger, develop your career, take care of your body, improve your communication control, your emotions, build friendships, have goals, create a life that feels meaningful even when nobody is watching. Then love becomes something you add to your life, not something you use to complete it. And when a woman sees that, doesn't see a man desperately asking for approval, she sees a man who knows who he is. That's the